do it. Okay. Is that better? Are we back?
The feed on the
faint.
Yeah, the feed on the background music's super low.
Very low.
We can do this 5 times.
All right, let's try to get some music there. I don't know if I can get it actually louder than that, though. Based on
Oh, well.
what I'm doing here. Let me try it again. Here we go.
Do you have the music? You can put it in after.
Yeah, I can.
Okay.
Okay, let's just do that. Sorry, everybody.
Okay, you ready?
Whatever you guys are.
I'll just start. Okay. It's Happy Hour again from Uptown New Orleans. Hello, I'm Grant Morris. Happy Hour is part of the family of shows on the podcast network. It's neworleans.com. When you walk into a bar in New Orleans and you pull up a bar stool, you never know who's going to be sitting on either side of you. What you do know is no matter what they look like, what they're wearing, whether they just got out of a limousine or just got out of jail, they're going to be happy to talk to you because that's New Orleans and this is Happy Hour, a cocktail-fueled 60 minutes of random conversation with folks who have nothing in common. Other than we're all New Orleanians in a bar today. We're at the fabulous Wayfare on Ferret Street, which is just a couple of blocks down from Napoleon Avenue. When what used to be the Killing Fields and is now super hip and groovy, and you can come here and be safe any time of the day or night. They have a fabulous brunch here on the weekends at Wayfare, or a 4-hour happy hour here every day from 3 to 7, or just stick around for the next 60 minutes and enjoy Happy Hour with us, which is brought to us today by these lovely people. Door Furniture, for the last 80 years, Door Furniture has been serving retail customers throughout the greater New Orleans area from its base on Elysian Fields in the Marigny, from Strategic Resumes. If you want to sharpen up your resume or your LinkedIn profile or other job search skills, start at Strategic Resumes. If you want to get away, check out Travel Central in Metairie. Basics Swim and Gym, where you can get a full range of fashion swimsuits. Hangover Destroyer, the only all-natural product medically proven to prevent a hangover. And the Positive Vibrations Foundation, who create and encourage community through the development and preservation of the arts, music, culture, and heritage. And if you'd like to take part in Patreon or be part of our Patreon family, go to patreon.com and search for It's New Orleans Happy Hour. And you too can be a member of the Happy Hour family for just as little as $1 a month. And this is the part where I usually say, Andrew Duhon is not here today, but you can get his new record, False River, which is out now.
You say that?
Yeah, I say that every week. You're not here, and you can find that on Spotify and any other place that you steal music from.
Yeah.
On the internet.
Steal away.
So welcome back, Andrew.
Thanks,
it's good
dude.
to
Good to
see
be back.
you.
Good to see you.
It's horrible not having you here. Where have you been? All over the country?
Yeah. Colorado and Northwest and Utah. And yeah.
And what are the general public outside of the New Orleans thinking about False River, the new Andrew Duhon record?
I don't know. I mean, the only feedback you get is the positive stuff. So, and
people don't tell you it
give me
sucks.
their
I guess if they
critiques.
don't show up,
That's
you
right.
know that they don't like it.
Yeah. If you don't have something nice to say, please tell me because I'd love to hear it.
Right. Don't tell. Yeah. I mean, are people reviewing it?
Yeah.
It is an awesome record. Have you heard it? Jonathan Pretus is here from the band The Breton Sound. Have you heard Andrew's new record? You have to say yes, and it's awesome, right?
I'm going to be totally honest. Andrew, I love you. I haven't heard it.
That's fair.
Because you put it out. You put it out right when I was finishing the new Breton Sound record.
This
and
is
I
the
wasn't
thing.
listening to any music.
Hell no.
That wasn't repetitive mixes of my own music.
You were in your own creative hole, as we all.
It is
end
in
up.
my queue on Spotify. It's
Sweet.
stuff I need to listen to. Congratulations on your new record.
Thanks,
by the
buddy,
way.
and to you.
Thank you, good sir.
Yeah.
Well, so Jonathan, your record is called The Breton Sound, which is the same name that the band has. So that didn't take long to think up.
Yeah, it's self-titled. There's really nothing worse than having to think of a title.
Well, we've
for a
been through it
record.
with Andrew for an entire year. We had to come
It's
up with
horrible.
various.
It's the friggin' worst.
Yeah.
And,
Well, why did you come up with something lame like just the name of the band? Then we could have come up with. We could have helped you.
We talked about like doing like a contest or something like that. But man, sometimes people have terrible ideas. Just
Most people have terrible ideas.
horrible ideas. So we were like, you
Well-
know what? Let's just easiest thing we can do is just name it after ourselves.
Yeah.
And then also,
That-
it lets us say it a second time, which just kind of drives home the actual pronunciation, so people stop mispronouncing the band name.
How How could you pronounce
Probably
it?
the Breton Sound.
You get the Bertations.
That's a good name, actually, the Bertations.
That's nice.
You get Brenton a lot.
Brenton. The Brenton Sound.
Brenton
Sounds,
Sound,
yeah.
and that's just ignorance.
That's just
people
illiteracy.
not reading. Yeah.
That's illiteracy. Well, how's
the
it going
Breton
with the new
Sound.
Brenton Sound record? Then?
It's good, man. It's good. We're
Are people does anyone buy it, or are they just steal?
we've actually sold like 2 copies.
That's
Two-
awesome too. Well, that's 2 more than you sold before you released it. So
That's
there's something to be said for that.
No, it's going well. The response is really good to it so far, and we're really happy with it. So
Maybe
far.
you need marketing, because I can help you with that. Shaun Walker is here.
Huh.
Hey, Shaun.
Hey,
How's
how's it going?
Shaun Walker's the owner or co-owner, I suppose.
Co-owner.
Co-founder of a
Yep.
company called Hero Farm. Uh-oh, you okay, Jonathan?
Choking on this beer. Sorry,
Okay, what are you drinking? What is it?
some kind of beer.
Okay, so Hero Farm's slogan, this is what it says on your website, apparently. This is what Graham DePonte, our producer, gave me. a show. It says, do great work for good people.
Yeah,
Okay, is that your slogan?
that's what we've been going with.
Okay, so
for
how
about
do you
10 years.
determine whether Jonathan's a good person?
How much money he has?
Oh, I see.
See,
That's a fair question.
I generally get most of my money from the Human Fund, which is money for people.
Yeah.
The Human Fund, is that available to anybody?
If you're people, as far as I know.
How do you get it?
I can't really go into
Can't divulge
super
that?
into depth about that.
Is this
but
anything like the Illuminati or
Nothing like that.
nothing
No,
like that?
Totally
So
different.
anyone can get a hold of it.
Yeah.
Have you ever heard of that?
You just got to know where to look.
Wendy Walker's here as well.
Laker.
Laker.
I'm
Well,
Walker.
see, I knew that was going to happen because you're Shaun Walker and Wendy Laker.
Oh, yes.
It's almost anagrammatic, isn't it?
Right. And
Whether-
if you do W-L-A-K-E-R, lots of people think it's Walker.
If you do W,
Yes, like W.
because
Laker.
your name is Wendy
Yes,
Laker, W
right.
Laker, so it looks like Walker.
Exactly.
Okay, so we'll start that again.
Okay.
Okay, Wendy Laker is here.
Hi.
Hey, Wendy. That's great. We'll just cut out that little bit. So, Wendy, it says here, this is probably correct, that you're a court reporter.
Yes.
Yes, and I wanted you to bring that court reporter machine with you, but
Not.
the little
not.
stick- the little
wouldn't you like to
No
see
way.
that, Jonathan?
Yeah.
Sure, wouldn't you have liked to see that
Stenograph?
as
What is
well?
that
Then
called?
I have a suggestion. In order to
Yes.
see it, you either commit
Get
a
arrested.
crime, or you're a victim, or you're a juror. Which
I didn't want
Yep.
to do any of those, though.
But
Well-
now that there's automatic dictation things that are fairly accurate, is the stenographer slowly going to be phased out?
I think at some point,
Yeah.
Question.
I don't know if in my lifetime, but
How old are
at some
you?
point.
Are you feeling sick?
No.
So you might have a long way to go.
Well, I've been there for 31 years. So
You've been a
I've
stenographer.
yeah.
Is it called
Yes.
stenographer? Or is that a
stenographer,
put down?
court reporter? No, not
Stenographer
at all.
used to be sort of like someone from the Mad Men era, I thought. Or is it still a word?
Well, people sometimes still call court reporters stenographers.
What is
it's the same thing.
What's it say on your business card?
Actually, my business cards are for my art. I don't.
You're an artist as well.
Yes. Yeah. So, court reporting. I've been at criminal court for a long time. So I'm not trying to promote doing more work. To be honest with you.
So you're a metal sculptor?
Yes.
Is that right?
Uh-huh.
Nice.
So how did you join how does those two? Are they connected in any way?
Not,
or
not in
no-
the least.
Nothing.
Nothing.
It's a
I
different
mean,
kind of part of the brain or
Yes.
different brain altogether.
Well, court reporting it's literally taking down what everyone says. So there's nothing creative about it. But I have
Right.
this creative flair about me, and so I used to hire this artist, this incredible metal artist, to do work for me, and I would.
You thought my 4-year-old son could do that.
Right. Well, I would design certain things, and then he would make it, and then I thought, well, maybe I could learn how to weld, and I did.
You taught
And
yourself how to
so-
weld,
No,
or you went to
at
welding
Delgado.
school?
I went to Delgado.
Okay. So can you do other stuff besides art? Like, can you fix the gate?
I hate that.
Oh, you do?
So I would
That's a
say
shame,
almost
'cause I'm
every
desperate to find some.
almost every artist who either is a welder or a woodworker, somebody out there, usually family, always has something that needs to be fixed, and
Correct.
it's the worst thing in the world.
Is that right?
Yes, it really is. It's nothing creative about it. So.
There's nothing creative about
Maybe you could get creative about it, though.
Well, that's true.
You know.
That's true. I could create something totally different and be like, "This is
Well,
what
what
I came
about?
up with."
But what's creative about court reporting? Nothing. You hate.
No,
Which
nothing.
is so. Why don't you at least get paid to be welding people's
Maybe
gates?
she slips in some words here and there. You don't know.
What's your word
That could
per
be
not
minute?
guilty.
Do you know your word per minute count?
So to pass the test, when I started, it was 225 words a minute. And so sometimes in
That's
court,
bananas.
it's faster and slow. It's not constantly that speed.
Right.
So there's
How
a
fast are we talking right now?
Not that fast at all.
We're not saying 225
No.
words a minute.
No.
What about the Micro Machines guy?
Oh, that guy has skills.
Oh, yeah.
So you could,
There's some-
so you could write down every single word we're saying now without a problem, not at all.
If I had my machine, it wouldn't be a problem.
if you brought your machine with you.
Yes.
Why didn't you bring it with you?
Do you bring it to parties?
You hate it?
No, I just, there would be no reason for me to bring it here.
Well, you see that.
Absolutely.
No,
Well,
I
maybe we
disagree,
could've-
right? Because
Okay.
we're Facebook Live, right?
Right.
Now you could actually analog Facebook Live if you were capturing everything in real time, stenographer style, and then we post it as like a downloadable PDF, and people can read.
What if
The
we send it as a
transcript.
fax?
You know what I would say to that? I have other court reporters I could recommend to do that.
Ah, good
I would
idea.
have no
You could have brought
interest
somebody
Well
with you.
done.
whatsoever.
Well done.
None whatsoever.
Somebody once, or a couple of people have asked me, mostly, both lawyers actually, if we had a transcript of the show. So if you listen to this, could you transcribe it?
Sure.
Say
Yeah.
lawyers asked.
Yeah.
Who do you have on this show?
A
usually?
couple of people have said things and then come back and said that they didn't say them. And
Oh, boy.
well, we've been doing
That's
this.
another
This is
show,
our
I
8th
think.
year. So, you know, in that time, that's only happened twice. And both times it's people who, it wasn't us that said it. It wasn't me that said something. It was
Wasn't
people
me
who came
either,
on
was
the
it?
show. It wasn't you.
Okay,
It
sweet.
was guests who came on the show and said something about other people and then realized that they'd made a mistake and perhaps they shouldn't have had that second or third drink and said that. And then
Well-
it was too late.
What happens if you stumble or you miss some words? Do you just make things up?
No, I mean,
Or-
I have control in the sense that if somebody's, when they're testifying or something, I could stop them, slow them down, ask
Huh.
them to. Yeah, I mean, it's not.
Okay, so after 30 years, when people walk into court, can you tell who's guilty and who's not?
Absolutely not.
No, you've got no way. So every day is
Absolutely
like
not.
going to the movies.
It's literally. I like to say that when I've seen everything and heard everything, except like maybe tomorrow when I haven't. I mean, it's something new every day, and I
Right.
should have written a book because I would be
well, why not? You could
retired.
knock
I
out
probably
250
still
words
could,
a minute.
But, you know, yeah.
Can you could write down everything you think. I mean, one of the problems about writing is that it takes you longer to get stuff down than you're thinking it. If you could do,
Yeah, but
Right.
not really. It's the only thing I could equate it to is if you're driving and it's just something you do. Sometimes you don't think about it and you get somewhere, but you don't really know. And sometimes it's second nature.
right.
So it's not that I'm
No, but you know what, if you
thinking
sit
of
down-
every because
but
if
if
you
you
had to
sit down
think of
to-
it, you couldn't do it.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I mean, if I was trying to think, how would I write that word, or how would I?
No, but
it's
when I
just-
sit down to write something and I have a great idea, it takes me longer to write it than, you know.
I love the active writing, the creative part. I love.
So you don't, when you write,
No.
you write on a regular
Yes.
typewriter like everybody else?
No, well, computer or.
Right.
I don't know. If
Okay,
you write on a typewriter,
I
yeah,
forgot,
maybe.
No, I forgot I don't have a typewriter.
The guys on Frenchman Street doing late night
yeah.
The guy
typewriter.
with the, with the
manifestos.
poem. Yeah, that guy with the poems. Hey, Jonathan.
Yeah.
What happened to your brother?
He's alive.
Not the. Because last time you came on the show, weren't you both in the same band?
Yes. Okay,
What's-
I know you're going with this.
What's your brother's name? Was it Brian?
Brian, yeah.
Brian. Okay,
Yeah.
so the last time you came on the show, we're not going to go back over this, but there were the two Pretus brothers
Mm-hmm.
from both in the Breton Sound, right? And then we talked about your third brother who didn't really exist, which is a whole
Right.
other story. If you want to hear that story, you have to go onto our website. It's neworleans.com.
Go to the archives.
Yeah, or look in the archives. Or
Right.
anywhere you get podcasts and search for the show, which was called Pedro the Elephant Plays Lacrosse.
I believe, yeah.
I think.
Yeah.
If you can believe that I remember that.
That's impressive.
Pedro the Elephant Plays Lacrosse is the name of the episode of Happy Hour if you want to find
Is
from
that on
like
your notes? Or you
2000, no, actually, it's not. From 2012 or 13 or something. So
Yeah.
both you guys were in the band together.
right.
And now I see that the Breton Sound is composed of you and Stephen Turner and then the Bourgeois twins.
Yes, yes.
So you have nothing against siblings being in the band.
No,
apparently.
all for it. All
So
for
what
it.
happened to your brother? Why isn't he in the band?
He wanted to start a punk band, so it was just kind of one of those, go ahead and do.
So he
And,
quit the band.
He quit the band. He went and found riches anew elsewhere.
Why did he do that, though?
The
Why did
heart
he want-
wants what the heart wants, man. I don't know.
Did you guys have a falling out, or
No.
he just wanted to do something different?
No, he just wanted to do something different, and it was cool. So
And what's the name of that band?
that band is called Pears,
Pears. P-E-A-R-S.
like the fruit. Yes.
And has anybody heard of that? Have you heard of Pears, you guys?
I think the drink I'm having is called
That's
Pear.
got a Pears?
Yeah.
That's a Pear 75.
Yes.
That would be a good name for the band. They could change it to Pear 75.
Yeah,
could.
numbers make it feel artsy.
It's
Yeah.
it does.
Or even more punk rock,
Or
like
punk
a
rock.
Blink 182.
Yes.
Blink 182 is
Yes.
another good example. Shaun, as a marketing person, what do you think of the name Pears for a band?
I thought it was P-A-I-R. S.
Pez.
Yeah,
Could be
that's one of the difficult things.
about
is
the word. That's good
multiple
thinking.
spellings.
So what sort of music is it? It's punk.
It's punk, yeah.
And how are they doing? Have you ever heard of them, Andrew?
I haven't.
So they're not doing all that well.
No, they're doing great, man. No, like
Well, nobody here's heard of
in
them, and
the-
we're pretty into music, especially
in
Andrew's
the-
a
Never
professional
heard of
musician.
them.
in the punk scene, you know, they work, man. They go out and they tour and they do
Okay.
their thing. So
Yeah,
yeah,
man,
Okay, there's a
some
punk
great
scene.
scenes in
Everything's-
New Orleans,
all right.
man.
he's happy. They're cool. I mean, everything's good. Yeah.
Yeah, well, I went to your record release party, and he got up and sang a song with you.
Right.
And that's how I remembered him. I'm like, oh, yeah, there was that other guy.
Yeah.
The other
No,
Pretus
he
brother.
he hasn't played with us in God since he left the band.
Still
so-
got a good voice, I see.
Yeah, oh,
that.
yeah. So it was one of those things where he was just there, and I was like, hey, come on up and sing
Right.
a song.
So what kind of people want to go and hear punk anymore?
I don't know. I don't.
I mean, me
There's a whole
neither.
scene. There's
oh yeah, they still got a scene for
Yeah.
it. Yeah.
There's a punk scene. I understand there's a heavy metal scene, big time in New Orleans. I don't
there's
know about
More
it. but,
Jefferson Parish, I think.
Is that
Really?
the word?
I
It's in the
believe,
parish.
yeah.
Well, the Breton Sound is a real rock band.
Right.
Real rock.
We're a rock and roll band.
Yeah.
And there's probably less of a scene for that than there is for punk rock.
Here.
yeah.
Yeah, you have to get out of here.
Yeah.
Like all these other bands, like Mute Math.
Mhm.
People never even heard of that band here, and they're pretty big.
Oh yeah.
And they
No,
live on the North Shore, I think.
No, they've all moved out of town.
They've
the,
all
the
gone.
singer used to live around the corner from me,
Right.
in Broadmoor, and he moved, I think, to Nashville a few years ago.
What's
and they're
his
all
name?
over
He
the
was a
place.
great guy.
Paul.
Yes.
Paul Meany.
Paul Meany.
Yeah.
He's a great voice. And
Yep. I think he's in Nashville now.
He's gone.
Yeah.
They did really well, but no one here ever went to see them. And you're going to have the same fate before the Breton Sound, I suppose.
Fine with me.
Same with Better Than Ezra.
If I can make money, I'm make a living
Right.
off it. You know, I'll
Well,
go
you've got the
wherever.
Human Fund,
I got the human.
so you don't have to worry about making any money. You're set up.
It's money
You're
for people.
independently wealthy.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah. So how's it going? Are you going to play something for us, like right now, so that I don't get
Yeah.
in trouble?
Sure.
Okay,
Yeah.
perfect. Okay.
Play something. Let's see.
What are you thinking of playing? Okay. Andrew, I'm going to make you play something as well in a little while.
Okay.
Okay. Okay, so this is an actual guitar.
It's an actual guitar.
All right, now we can figure this out. We've got a really good system. We have microphones.
My bandmate texting.
What's he saying? You were allowed to take checks on this.
He was like, "Hey, if you want to come over later on this afternoon, I'll be home."
Is that Stephen?
Yep.
Okay. Tell him to come by here.
Let's see. All right.
Okay, what do you want to do?
I'm gonna do a pair song for you now.
I love them.
This is off of the new Breton Sound record. It's called "Why Are You Still Here." This is close enough to in tune, huh?
I wouldn't even know. Don't you have the thing?
I didn't bring a thing.
You don't have the thing. Andrew's
have the
probably
thing.
got one if you want to borrow it.
Yeah, it's good enough.
Close enough for rock and roll.
She's headed back home to the West Coast. Silhouette lingers like an old ghost, dancing in the hallway, dancing in the hallway. There's a house key sitting next to goodbye note. California girls on the radio. The irony is not lost. The irony is not lost. And so, if people come and go, why are you still here? Why are you still here? And so, if people come and go, why are you still here? Why are you still here? In the back of my mind is a memory, blinded by the death of you and me. I wish I could erase it. I wish I could erase it. So I think I might drive to the left coast. Cigarettes, coffee, and no dose. Gotta get you out of me. Gotta get you out of me. And so, if people come and go, why are you still here? Why are you still here? And so, if people come and go, why are you still here? Why are you still this is the part of the song where there's a guitar solo that Steven plays, but he's not here, so there's no solo here, just that part. And so, if people come and go, why are you still here? Why are you still here? And so, if people come and go, why are you still here? 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 Why am I still here?
Yeah.
Thanks, y'all.
Okay. Jonathan Pretus from the Breton Sound, off the record, the Breton Sound.
Yes.
So that's good news about that, is that I can remember the name of it.
Right.
So that's
that's
great.
marketing. That's
Yeah,
who did that,
it's
man.
working.
Why
What
Are
do
You Still Here would be a good album
Why are you
title.
still here? That would have been
Thought
a good
about
idea
it,
too.
debated it, decided not to.
Okay.
Yeah.
A lot of words.
Why are you
Yeah.
still
A
here?
lot of
For
words.
short
Yeah.
and succinct and to the point.
It's good to hear that though. Isn't it nice to hear that's like a real rock?
That was lovely.
Thank you.
That was
a great
That was
tune. Yeah.
that was the tender, delicate version of it.
But it
Different
still
key,
sounded
more mellow.
Oh, really? It's a different key.
Well, because it's kind of a belter, as you can tell. Because
Right.
right when I hit the chorus, I could hear the microphone just go like.
You've got a hell of a
It's
voice.
kind of a belter song, and to do it in a restaurant like this would be
Right.
kind of obnoxious and rude.
Is that
so?
an anthem?
It could be an anthem, yeah. I would call it an anthem for the generation.
An anthem
the
for a
ages.
generation.
Yeah.
Why are you still here?
Yeah.
Can your brother do a punk version of it?
Probably
Good
could.
question,
He very well
Shaun.
may have. I don't know.
So, Shaun, what do you do all day over there at the Hero Farm, doing good work for great people, or great work for good people, I should say?
Try to keep up on all the latest stuff. So, drinking. quite a
Drinking,
bit.
mostly only You've
Yeah.
only had one drink, I see, so far. And
Yeah.
we can get you another one.
Things are changing every day. New social mediums and different things that.
Is that right? For real?
Yeah. It's
Well, can you tell us what we should be on now, then?
it depends
Ritalin?
what you do.
Well, like, what do you mean?
Because there's so many of them that you
Well,
don't
suppose
have.
we had
You
a-
can't be on all of them.
Suppose we had a podcast business, and we wanted people to hear our podcast. What would
well-
we be on?
Well, SoundCloud is obviously one of the biggest ones.
That's not social media, though.
It
Is
can
it?
be.
Or is it?
You can talk and interact and discuss
you?
on SoundCloud. Yeah.
Do you put your stuff on SoundCloud?
Yeah. Yeah.
I thought SoundCloud was just yet another place to steal music from.
Well, it is that too, but also so when you post a song or a podcast, or whatever, you can mark in different parts of that file.
Oh, yeah,
and,
that's just
comment in specific
That is
places.
just total bullshit.
Like,
though.
love this part
Yeah.
here.
Awesome. This rocks.
Hate this part here.
Yeah. That's just annoying.
Yeah.
Isn't it? Every time you listen to a song, those little things, those captions
They just
pop
little
up.
pop up. Yeah.
SoundCloud's been slowly going out of business for the past year.
C-Rock.
Yeah.
Is that right?
It's true.
Shaun, did you know that?
I did not.
How could you not
Heard
know
it
that
here
you're supposed
first.
to
We,
be the free
we don't
next
have any clients
Shaun?
on that.
Oh, so you just came up with some bogus info for me.
Well, that's what you want to hear, right?
No. I want to know the truth. I want to know what I should be on. I think everybody on social media wants to know what they should be on. What are the kids on?
Musically is pretty
YouTube.
big, and yeah, YouTube is obviously it's one of the top three
Well,
sites.
YouTube is
visited.
like Google,
but,
basically.
But musically is one of the biggest ones right now, especially like high school and younger.
Right. Is there any way to make any money off anything like Instagram?
Oh yeah, but
Okay,
most
well,
people don't.
Most people don't.
No,
Can you tell us how to do that, like right now?
I can send you an article that'll tell you how to do it.
Well, I haven't got time to read an article. I'm very busy.
You can start doing makeup tutorials
Could do-
and hair
I get most of my
tutorials. That's
makeup
where the money
stuff
comes
off.
from.
Yeah, that's
Yeah,
right,
just-
off of YouTube.
Started out with hi babies. Just wanted to show
It's
you
me.
guys my new.
Yeah. But really, seriously, for a minute, can we be serious for a minute?
Sure.
Okay.
Okay, let's start now.
How do you make money on Instagram?
Endorsements.
There's a lot of product placement, but like Andrew said, that the makeup type stuff does do very well.
Okay.
Because people are looking for the short videos, even though Instagram expanded it to do longer videos. You can, the short ones that they kind of do tutorials like that, or workout type thing, especially food. People love to look at food, and it's kind of ridiculous how.
Yeah. So you have to have some
You-
sort of actual
You
content.
have to become a tastemaker, and that requires
influencer.
followers and taste. And you
Right.
don't have either of those.
No, I
And
got
you know,
nothing.
you
I'm
missed
starting.
your-
I'm starting with
You
amazing.
missed your opportunity last week because
Why?
Facebook had a community boost and they had different workshops on Instagram, and there's something called Instagram Stories, and they
What's up with that?
well, it's how you create a story.
It
on
only lasts
Instagram
for like
that is-
24 hours or something.
It's basically their version of Snapchat.
Right.
Yeah,
Yeah.
but
which
it's
Facebook also stole before they bought Instagram and
Right.
put it on their platform.
so there's a lot to do.
Who owns what?
Facebook,
Facebook
owns
owns-
Instagram.
And who owns Snapchat? Is that-
Snapchat.
Snapchat.
That's independent.
Facebook tried to buy them for billions of dollars, and they turned them down.
That's right. So Snapchat's independently owned.
Yes,
Do we
for
even
right
know?
now.
Do we know who owns that? Why isn't that
it's a-
person
They're a
it's
famous?
DIY indie operation. Very low key.
Why isn't that guy famous? Like
He is Evan
Yeah.
Spiegel.
Evan Spiegel.
Yeah.
Spiegs.
Okay.
He's
I call
from
him the
my
Spiegs.
part of the
Thanks,
country.
Hero. Where's he from? From Los Angeles?
Yeah, he's from Los Angeles. He went to high school in like Brentwood, I think.
Okay, well, he had to go to high school somewhere. Evan Spiegel is the guy who invented Snapchat. And is he super wealthy?
I would probably think so.
And what's his story,
You can
Sirach? Is
turn
he
down
single?
billions.
You want to make a play?
Well, I'm just wondering if he's single and he's living in LA and he's probably got his own car and everything.
Or he gets an Uber. Just like
Exactly.
everybody else.
Exactly. So, hey, what are you doing then? Are you guys going on the road, Jonathan, with this band and the album? And what
Yes.
happens now that you put out a new record? Does anyone
Well,
make
yeah,
you
so
do stuff?
I'll answer in order of the questions as best I can. Yeah, we'll be going out on the road, doing a bunch of regional stuff this fall. We're going up to Louisville, Kentucky, to play the Louder Than Life Festival in
Okay.
September. That's going to be a big one for us. That's exciting. And yeah, so you push the record. We're going to pushing it to radio a little bit, trying to get some traction there, trying to get some traction on the playlist land of streaming and stuff like that.
And is there still rock radio out there somewhere?
Oh yeah, yeah.
Do we have that in New Orleans? What station would you be
You
on?
have Alt 92.3,
Oh,
which has
right.
a great show on Sunday nights called The Roo, which plays local rock and roll music.
Okay, one night a week.
One night a week.
Okay.
And shout out to Thomas Thomason. He's on.
There you go.
Thomas Thomason.
Yeah.
What? He's on the Sunday night show? On
Not
Alt,
that show. He's just on there.
On Alt 92.3. Now, is that a local station? So
It's a
the
local
is that
station,
actual
but it's
human
it's-
beings.
There's actual human beings. Yeah,
Wow.
yeah.
Oh, that's
There's
exciting.
Like every
WHIV is a pretty cool, fairly new
W-
deal going
which
on.
one?
WHIV.
Yeah, but they're not really like a real music station. Are
Yeah,
they?
oh
Or are
yeah.
they?
You're thinking of the reading for the blind one, aren't you?
WBRH.
Yeah, not that
WRBH.
one.
Actually worked with them for a while.
WBRH.
Is that what you were thinking? Or?
No, I was thinking WHIV, but
Yeah.
I thought they had mostly talk.
No, I don't
they
think
do
so. They
music
do
too.
music.
They have
yeah.
music too. Okay. What number is that? I don't even know.
Ooh,
It's like 102.3 maybe
Okay.
somewhere.
your guess
Yeah,
is
yeah.
better.
It's
Alright.
in the
1023.
high
And,
mid 100s.
and what is this Alt 92.3? That used to be like KCRW.
It used to be the Zephyr.
No, the Zephyr was 106.
Oh no, you're right. You're right.
I think 92.3 was KCRW. Whatever the hell that.
Yeah, you're right. It was KCRW.
And now it's Alt 92.3.
Alt 92.3.
Okay, and that's actual human beings who are in the studio.
You worked in radio. You should know all this.
Yeah, I
stuff.
don't though. That's what I'm asking you. So that's an actual,
actual
rock,
human
local
beings, yeah.
rock station.
They have two people, Chris and Carolyn, that every week map out another 2-hour block for their show, and they bring bands in and do interviews, and
Well,
they
this is pretty good to
give
know.
exposure to local
Okay.
regional rock and roll.
Yeah, well, we didn't know that. What do you listen to there, Wendy? Apart from people saying not guilty.
I like R&B,
Yeah,
jazz.
yeah. And do you know judges? Are you like personal friends with judges?
Oh, of course. I mean, I grew up in that building,
Judge
so
Dredd.
you know.
In what sense? In the jail?
Well, I've been there a long time, and so I mean, when you work somewhere a long time, it might be a strange workplace for one individual. It's a place that you go every day, and you just you know people.
So
and-
you know somebody now. Can you get us off?
I'm not going to even comment on that.
That wasn't a no, though. You notice that?
No.
It's good to have that.
So-
Good to have that phone number you can call.
Yeah,
and
that's
say,
right.
I know
Everybody,
somebody.
everybody needs to know
She's a
something.
stenographer.
No.
We're totally good.
Everybody
am-
needs to know somebody in New Orleans.
I'm sure the city's small. Everybody knows somebody.
Everybody's got a guy.
Yeah, but you need someone to make that call when to get out of.
I can't help you with that.
What about
There's a guy in town who says one call, that's all.
we have to pay him. I'm talking about getting off of a real
you
charge.
got to have a freebie. You
Yeah.
can't have the payoff. You know,
There used to
shiesty
be
people need to get
there
paid.
used to be ways to get off things here. Can we still do that? I got pulled over at one point. This is back in the old days, back in the radio days, when I got pulled over and I had nothing. I had no license. I had no registration. I had no nothing. I wasn't wearing a seatbelt. You name it. I didn't have anything. And they took my license off me, and they took the license plates off my car.
Wow.
Ooh.
And I had a business card from a guy who told me, if you ever need anything, give me a call. And I called this guy, and he got my license plate back for me and my license, and I didn't have to pay anybody anything.
Wow.
I just had to give him
I
two.
think those days are gone.
I had to give him 2 tickets to, I think it was Bush.
Well, they needed
Yes.
something.
Remember Bush?
Yes. They were
Talking
just
of
in town.
Do
at
Were
we
they really?
remember
They were at
Bush?
Champion
Okay.
Square, man.
Wow.
That's awesome.
Okay.
Just telling me.
So
wow.
I can't. So that's not going on anymore.
I wouldn't imagine. I mean,
And I have a
I'm in
license
criminal
now.
court,
if
so
anyone's- You're in criminal court.
yeah. I mean, I would be more concerned about the red light cameras and the cars that are parked. Because on the way over here,
Yeah.
I was paying attention, but I thought, okay, I hope I was going 20 when I passed that car. So that's more
Can
of
you
a
get us off of that? Because that is a pain in the
Absolutely.
ass. You can't.
no. I can't get you off on anything.
Nothing.
I mean, I am right. I'm a
So
neutral.
is it
party.
true, according to my research here, that you started the Palmer Park Art Market?
Yes.
You
Oh.
created that.
That's cool.
How about
my
that's worth a round of
neighborhood,
applause,
man.
I think, on that one.
Nice work.
That's very impressive.
That's my neighborhood.
Why would you?
over there.
That's in your hood?
Yeah.
Where do you live? What
I'm on
street? What
Nashville.
number? On Nashville.
I don't give away all those details,
Okay.
man. I got stalkers, man.
That's where the Human Fund is, on Nashville.
Or a satellite office.
Of the Human Fund. Up
But
there
yeah,
on-
Palmer Park's just up the
Yeah.
road, basically. Yeah.
So, I mean, how it
what's the-
started was, it started in Mid-City, and it started at Carrollton and Canal Street, and it was in conjunction with the new streetcar coming online in 2004, and started like a tiny little place, and then every month I just kept growing it. In fact, we partnered with Juan's Flying Burrito, and David is a musician as well, and
yeah.
so we took over their parking lot, and then we took over the buildings.
Oh, you
'cause they
didn't
were
start off
empty.
in the park. You started off.
No, we started off there, and then
Oh, yeah,
we got so big, and we moved to City Park, and they were great. We were there, and then Katrina came, and then after Katrina, we went to the Botanical Gardens, and after that, how we got to Palmer Park was the Voodoo Fest was going on obviously in October, and no one had told us that they had to have the whole park. So in 2 weeks, I had to come up with a new location. And little did I know it was a blessing in disguise, because they said, whatever park you want. And so at the time, Comiskey Park was in Mid-City, but it was still a little desolate. And so when we got to Palmer Park, not a lot of people knew that the name was even Palmer Park. And so I met with the neighbors. And at the time, there were homeless people on the benches, and so they were looking for something. I mean, they might not be happy now, but they were looking for something there. And we set up shop there, and it was taking over my life, and I was looking for a way to kind of get from under it. And so,
Why wouldn't you be looking for a way to make some money out of it, and you could quit court reporting?
well, I mean, it was under the guise of our neighborhood organization, and so it's just the lifespan of a manager for that market is 3 years, literally. They
So nobody owns that, though. Or is
well,
I mean, when I pay,
I contacted some people I knew at the Arts Council and said, please, would you take this over? Because at the time, they were running the fresh art market.
what is that bashing noise that's going on in the background? Are they doing construction here at Wayfare or what? So, but does somebody own the Palmer Park Art Market? Because there are all those people who have booths. Aren't they paying someone?
Yes.
And is that you? They were paying you?
For the space for there and the expenses, and we would have a band and that kind of thing, and it was the neighborhood organization.
So you had to organize all renting those tents and
yes,
benches and
and go early and kill ant piles, and just
It's a huge
there's just
undertaking.
and then it's rain, and then it's so unpredictable. I mean, if you look at the Bayou Boogaloo and what happened
Who's
with
calling?
that,
Yeah.
Donna, someone.
my coworker.
Donna Coleman. Do we want to talk to her?
Yeah.
Apparently not. Okay.
So anyway, it was wearing me down, and I just didn't
No
know how to
kidding.
rein it in. And so I called someone I knew at the Arts Council and said, "Hey, I think you guys should take this over because." And it wasn't in Mid-City anymore. So
Why didn't you just think about quitting your job and doing it full time? Because
Because I wouldn't want to be a starving artist. I mean, I have a good job. I love my job.
Yeah, but
and,
you could.
Come on,
and
Riddle
it's,
Machino.
and it's
Hey, look,
once
people are here with the
It's great
boxes.
over here.
But you could.
it's once a month. I mean, you can't.
You couldn't
it's
make a
just
living.
such a hard. It's such
Seems
a
like a huge
hard
amount
thing.
of work. though.
It is a lot of work.
So could anyone make any money out of it if they got it together?
Well, I mean, the Arts Council has it, and they, I mean, I'm sure it pays for some of their programming, but still, I never want to be involved in anything else that I have to have tents involved.
Tents.
Because it's just literally, I have seen it all. There's a wind gust, somebody doesn't secure their tent, and it flies over and knocks somebody else's tent down, and there's rain, and
Right.
one time we were in the Botanical Gardens, we had so much rain, and they had these people that made this incredible soap. And literally, the soap was just ruined, and it was getting beers, and it's
I'm sure you
it's
have
not
seen
for
it
the
all.
faint of heart. And really, for artists, it's such a hard way to make a living. And so, actually, I started an indoor art market in the River Bend called Art in the Bend, and it's a small little space, but it allows artists to be able to show their work.
In the River Bend,
in the
which
River
is
Bend.
uptown,
Yes.
up on Hampton
On Dublin
Street.
Street. Yeah, right off on Dublin, right by off of Maple Street.
And is that outside on the neutral ground there?
No,
or
it's
is it
an
inside?
indoor,
No
cool,
tent.
air-conditioned
No tents.
market.
Is that permanent?
Yes. So
It's called what?
it's called Art in the Bend.
Art in the Bend. How come we've never heard of that, Shaun?
Because I just started.
Ah. Do you have any marketing
So,
people, or would you like to hire somebody?
Well, I mean, I'll pick his brain, but we have
I tried,
some
but I
artists.
got nothing.
Yeah, we have some artists that are pretty savvy about that. So, but yeah, I mean,
Art in the
anything
Bend.
helps.
I like
yes.
the sound of that. That could be another good album title.
That's
Art in the
good.
Bend. That is good. The River Bend. Okay, so are you going to make any money out of this one? Is this a business, or is this once again
So,
for...
so right now, the lady who owns the shop, I've been knowing her for several years, and she'd been wanting to do something there.
Is
and,
that
and
Yvonne Lafleur?
finally, no, but she's right around the corner.
Right, that's the only person's name I know down that on those.
So, and actually, she has
is there a real person called Yvonne Lafleur, or is it just
yes,
the
no,
name of it?
there
really
is.
someone
There
called
is.
that?
I think there have even been sightings. So yes, there is.
Okay.
Yeah.
And where's the store that you've got? Then?
So it's 728 Dublin, and
What
the
did it
lady,
used to be?
well, the lady who owns it, she was a glass blower and a metal artist, and she is she's about 80 now, and so she lost her eyesight, and it's a hard way to make a living. So she turned her glass blowing studio into a commercial kitchen. So the space she has in the front, we have the art space, and
She's
then
a blind glass blower who now has a commercial kitchen.
yes, she's
She's an interesting person.
She is a very
right
interesting
there.
person. She's a
Okay.
very interesting person.
That's-
So on the days we have the market, which starting October will be every Saturday, we have people from the kitchen that have like baked goods and like sweet and savory items, and then we always have a complimentary cocktail, and then we have like between 7 and 8 artists.
It says fresh baked goods, free booze.
Yep. What
That's
else is
art.
there in life?
That's hard to beat.
Yeah,
That's
really.
hard to beat.
There's a working fireplace, so and there's working air conditioning, and then in the winter
Okay.
there's a
Very important.
And what
Yeah.
about music? Are you going to have any music?
That's going to be coming. That's coming our way.
Okay, things are
Yeah,
picking up. Okay.
Absolutely.
Hey, and Shaun, you grew up in the radio world as well, because your dad is Bob Walker,
That's right.
the king
The
of the
oldies king.
Yeah.
Word.
That's right.
How about
Oh,
that?
Nice.
Yeah, he was on our show too. He's a great guy.
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah. And you have another brother as well.
I do. Scott Walker.
Scott Walker was the
He
was
is
the
now
TV guy.
the donut king, I guess. Shipley
Okay.
Donuts.
Scott
But yeah,
Walker
he
6 on
just
Twitter.
retired from WDSU.
Scott Walker 6 on Twitter. Is that right, Jonathan?
I think he was changing it though,
To
because he was retiring. So I think he
Right.
was trying to get rid of the 6. But
because it's a WDSU channel 6.
right,
Oh, I see.
the
Although
leprechaun.
he
king.
got confused with the Wisconsin governor quite a bit, Scott Walker.
Oh, that's another.
And even Trump congratulated my brother, thinking he was
That's
on,
awesome.
on Twitter.
the governor.
Congrats on the new donut
Oh,
shop.
yeah.
It's going to be huge.
That is great.
Huge.
Trump
Huge donuts.
actually sent him a tweet
Yep.
congratulating him on winning the governorship.
Yeah, because
Wow.
a lot of people just don't even look at the profiles or anything. They
Right.
just see Scott Walker.
Right.
That's it.
That's funny. So is he older than you, or are you older than him?
He's 9 years older.
9 years old.
Yep.
That's quite a. So did you grow up with him, or was he gone by the time you were conscious?
He left for college when I was in 3rd grade.
Right.
So
that's the thing with being so far apart. You don't really get to be brothers together.
Yeah, and I mean, it worked out just because we never really fought or anything. And
Just as well because he would kill you. 'Cause
yeah,
he was 18 and you were 9.
Yeah, he beat me pretty
He put
bad
it-
on like Nintendo and
Right.
whenever we would play sports games. But for like the past 10 years, I've gotten him every time. So
Well, you got your own bag.
yeah.
So what's he doing? He's got a donut business.
Yep.
And you didn't want to go into the media.
Not necessarily the same way that they did.
Apparently not.
Yeah.
Were you tempted at all?
Not really. That's not really where I would like to go anyway.
Right.
They always kind of were happy to be the center of attention and everything. And
You're more shy and retiring?
yeah, they're more extroverted. I'm more introverted, and so I do more of the behind the scenes type stuff.
Right. Have you been in therapy or anything?
I've talked to people before. Yeah.
You have?
Yeah.
What about? Being depressed or
Well,
being the youngest?
Well, because whenever you have somebody that is in the media and you don't really want to do that,
I wondered about that.
you kind of
Yeah.
wonder, like, is that me or what? And it's just how people are. Everybody's
That must
different.
be interesting
So,
growing up in that environment, though, because you have to come to terms with your brother and your father are both kind of celebrities.
yeah, it's like if Eli Manning didn't play football.
Well, there is another
There's
Manning.
a Cooper.
Yeah.
Cooper. Yeah.
It's pronounced-
Unfortunate
pronounced
situation
Cupper.
for him.
Cupper Manning.
You know him? Mm-hmm. Did you grow up with him?
I grew up with the three of them. Yeah.
With the Mannings?
Mhm.
Okay, so you're invited to any of these?
No, none of them. No, they're not. None of them bought the record.
Are you serious?
Yet.
Have they put
Yet.
some money into the
I
band?
tried to send them some promo
Are
copies.
they humans?
Really? Why wouldn't they put some money into the band if you grew up with these guys? I guess everyone hits them
Well,
up.
I mean, we
but-
went to school together. We weren't tight necessarily.
Well, this
I
would be a
was
good
I
time
was
to
a year
rekindle
younger than
if-
Eli.
Yeah, younger than
Elisha.
Eli.
I was
Okay.
a year younger than him.
He was Elijah, was his original?
I think that's his actual full name. I think.
It's an interesting name for a
Yeah.
kid from uptown. White kid.
Mississippi blood.
White non-Jewish kid from uptown. It's called Elijah. That's
Right.
strange. Okay, so you're not friends with them anymore because they could put some money in. What, are they still playing football, those guys, or are they all retired?
Peyton retired, but Eli still plays.
I think we should
Mhm.
probably know that, but okay. Well, I'm
okay.
surprised they haven't kicked some money into the Breton Sound.
You
Are
know,
you looking
I-
for
I
finance?
would
Are you looking
think,
for
man,
investors?
You
or
know,
what?
I get a feeling at the end of the day that they're more country than rock and roll.
Uh-huh.
Hmm.
So,
I get that.
but if anyone's listening that isn't a rock and roll, yeah, we're looking for.
Well, the
investors.
nationwide commercial.
We'll
What would you?
take that.
What genre of music would you consider that? The nationwide. commercial?
Nationwide is on your side. It depends on
country.
Depends on how you sing it. I mean,
Yeah.
you could do it as a rock thing. I
Well, they
think.
had that one commercial where they did it with Brad Paisley, so that would put it squarely
Yeah.
into the
That's
the-
definitely
the
country. But I feel like you could get Dave Grohl out there,
Could you
like
give us
rocking
a
it.
sample of that? What that would sound
Yeah,
like?
get the guitar. That's a good idea. Let's
Yeah.
do versions of the countrywide. Andrew, you want to play something as well here?
Maybe, but this is
Come
more
on.
important right now.
Okay, well, let's get this done first. Countrywide. Is it countrywide?
Maybe punk rock.
what nationwide.
too.
What's the first
Is it
Punk rock
nationwide?
version.
That'd be E.
What is
Be Nationwide is on your side.
Yeah,
Something like
that's
that.
right, that's right.
it?
You
Okay.
could do something like that with it.
That-
What
that's
is
gonna work.
nationwide exactly? Is that like a hamburger?
I think it's
Isn't it an
insurance.
insurance company?
Nationwide insurance. Okay, I wrote that
I
down
think-
just
I
in
was
case
gonna
we
say-
need that.
I was going to say, I think they should be a sponsor now.
Nationwide, absolutely.
Mm-hmm.
Now we have the special
For,
version of
I
their
mean, I'll
your
cut a
partner.
real rock version.
And then your brother can do a punk.
Yeah, he can do the
version.
punk version.
punk version of
Andrew can do
Nationwide.
like a
Sad
singer-songwriter
bastard,
version. We'll give him
singer-songwriter,
like
yeah.
we'll give him a smorgasbord.
Okay, Andrew, grab
man.
that guitar immediately because we're running out of time here.
Okay.
Viciously now. Okay, so what was I supposed to get to? Does anyone know anything here? We talked about the new record, the Breton Sound record.
Right.
Okay. We've talked about, is there anything, hey listen, we talked about the band and the, what's it
Yeah,
called?
and
Art in the Band.
while we're on this little pause, I'd like
Yeah.
to. Our next art market is going to be September 1st. And,
2018.
Yes, in
September
a couple
1st.
of weeks, and then starting October, we'll be there every week, and so
This is pretty exciting.
yeah, it is.
So you
and
can't stop yourself, apparently.
no, I'm my own worst enemy, clearly. But
Why do you want to keep doing it? Why don't you just want to go home and be quiet and go into your own art studio and make art? Why do you want to do all this?
Well, I do make art, but I hate the selling part of it. It
Yeah.
feels like work. And
Right.
I always wanted, because I've been asked, like, oh, why don't you do that for a living? But I have no desire. And so I would rather promote artists and have events.
You don't want to sell your own stuff, but you want to help other people sell their stuff.
Right. And I mean, I do commission work and stuff like that. But if I had to
Do you?
mass produce, I do.
What do you do? Like I can commission a...
All kinds of things. I have a website.
So people commission... What's the website?
It's
Just in case you don't...
www.spark-creations.
Hang on.
www.
3 W's.
Yes. Spark-creations.com.
Spark-creations. Another bad choice, right, Shaun?
Well, if you
That's
look
right
at
up
my
there with the
business
pears.
card, if you look at my business card,
Yeah.
the spark, the S is a welding torch.
Aha.
And spark,
That's cool.
Spark represents not only what I do, but it's sparking ideas, sparking. There's all kinds of sparks, and
Okay, so that is good. But
and
I
so
thought-
with the long range plan too is I'm also going to highlight artists, something called profession versus passion, and so I find artists who are lawyers, doctors, other professions that maybe somebody would be surprised that they actually create art as well.
That's a very New Orleans thing because everybody here is doing something else.
Yes, so I have some friends.
Everybody's got a job and they're got a
Exactly.
great band.
And
You
it's
have a
their
job, Jonathan.
outlet.
You're in a real gig as well, right?
I do, yeah.
What do you do besides
I
being
work
a
for
rock star?
Apple.
For Apple computers.
I work for Apple, yeah.
As what? As a Apple genius?
No, God, no.
What do you do?
I do support for app developers.
Are you serious?
Dead serious.
So that's a pretty specialized kind.
It's
I wish I'd known
it's
that
the
this
rock and
morning.
roll day job.
So you're one of these guys that we can call and say, "Hey, my computer's fucked up. Can you please?"
If you're an app developer, yes.
So you're an.
But I don't get like grandma who's like, I can't turn the machine off.
Yeah, that
Like,
sort of thing.
Thankfully, I don't get those.
Right,
no.
but you are the person in your circle of friends who everybody calls
Uh,
when their computer doesn't work because we all need
well,
that.
I will be now because I haven't told most of them. That's what
That
I
is a great thing to know. That's better than a guy with a truck, actually.
And now it's recorded. Everybody.
Yeah,
Everybody
everyone's
knows.
It's like, man, I heard you got
That's
50%
very
discount.
interesting. So how do you know how to do that? Did you go to school for this? Did you go
No, I got. They trained me.
Wow, so you're Apple trained.
Apple will hire anybody. Literally anybody.
That's not true, and that's
shouldn't
pretty
say that.
cool, actually.
They're probably gonna.
And that's here in New Orleans.
It's at my house.
But I mean, you got
No, like I literally work at home.
yeah. But I mean,
Yeah.
you went to Apple school somehow or other. Did you have to go to somewhere else?
I
You
turned
did
on my
all-
computer every day for a month and did this
Now,
training
was
thing.
it a Mac?
Oh yeah. They send one. They give you one.
Oh wow.
This is even
Like,
better.
I applied for the job, did several interviews for it, got hired. They sent me a computer and told me to start on a Monday and did training for like a month. And now
And so
I'm-
what do you do? So you're sitting at home and the phone rings, assumingly.
Mhm.
Is that what happens if someone gets
yeah.
online?
Usually it's people contact through the Apple website.
So if I come up with an idea for an app, say.
Well, no, it's
Is
like
that what
someone.
it is?
It's someone that's already building or wants to design an app, and it's they're trying to figure out how to like even let's say you're trying to update the podcast on iTunes, and you're having a
Right.
problem getting the new version up there.
Okay.
I would get that support question for that.
Ah, okay.
Yeah. It's a variety of different
And
things.
can I talk to you? I mean, do I call 1-800-APPLE and I end up talking to you?
Nope.
Yeah, you not talk.
You got to call the human fund to get to me.
But are you talking to human beings, or this is all?
Oh yeah, it's humans.
Online.
Yeah.
I
So
think
you're
he
actually-
needs to give you a card in case. Just like
I don't have
yeah.
any Apple equipment at all. Do you? Are
Well-
you on Mac stuff?
I do, but just like you had a card for when you got in
My
trouble.
card on my special
Yeah.
card.
Right, that's right.
Yeah, no,
That's
this is
more
no
important.
This is no good for
sometimes
me,
than-
but this could be
yes.
good for you if you have Mac stuff because that stuff breaks a lot, right?
Actually, no. I have one Mac that's from late 2008, and it's still
Still running.
Same
strong.
here, man. I've got
Yeah.
the same iMac I've
Come
had
on.
for
And
over
we
10
have-
Wow,
years.
really?
Yep.
We have
Really?
some PCs at work as well, and their shelf life is probably about 2 years or so.
Yep.
So
before
you'd be
they-
a Mac supporter.
Oh, yeah.
What are you, Wendy?
I actually have. I've been using Dell for a while,
Dell.
mine have lasted a very long
That's
time.
awesome.
Yeah.
If it
so-
lasts, go for
and
it.
And my software, it doesn't. I can't use a Mac.
Right,
So
right.
I have to use the Microsoft.
Oh, you have
so
to
that's-
use for the court reporting software.
Yes.
How does that? So that stuff when you type that, where does that go?
Into the universe.
Does it go into like? Is it self-contained? Does it go onto a disk or something
Oh,
in
it's
the
very
thing?
yes. It's very technologically, advanced at this point. So you have a dictionary. So when I put a certain stroke down, it recognizes that as being a word, and so that's
I wish we could see the machine. It's a damn shame,
at some
isn't
point,
it?
So,
Some
and
point.
I forgot to bring. You could also be involved in a lawsuit and see a court reporter then too.
But all I can
so.
see is your little hands
Yeah.
and stuck in
There's,
the
and
thing.
it might disappoint you because there's only keys. It doesn't have it's phonetics, so it doesn't have like you won't. I don't press down and see a letter. So like for
Right.
instance, I could do one stroke. Say for instance, somebody says at that time. That's one stroke for me, and so it's phonetics, it's combination, and then you create your own dictionary sometimes for words that you would
That you use
So,
commonly.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
That's wild.
Yeah.
That's pretty exciting. That's why I wish you'd brought it with you. But
I'm so not that's
So not into it.
Yeah, I mean
Right.
it's just
So as advanced as it is now, like if you went back to the 50s, could you still use the same?
oh gosh when
machines?
when I first started, they were just starting using computers and you it was in the early stages and when I bought my first computer and my software, it was thousands and thousands of dollars. It was very expensive.
Hey, do you-
and
so
very
how does that
heavy
work?
and expensive.
so are you like a contract worker? So you have your own business and they hire you? Or do you
So
work
that
for
would
this-
be freelance. So I'm hired by a judge, and so that's how that works. And so
You
I've,
work for a particular
yeah,
judge. Oh, I
and
see.
I've been there for several years. So I've just kind of said I come along with the furniture, and that's just
Okay.
how it goes. But no, I've been there a long time, so I've worked for a lot of different judges.
But you now principally work for one person?
Yes.
So it's not an agency? You don't?
No,
they don't hire you
no,
out?
not an agency.
Okay, that's
Mhm.
interesting. So that's a very wide open for corruption.
Wait, court reporting?
Wouldn't you think if you're working for one judge,
Yeah,
and
but the
he's
problem-
paying you? I guess he's got nothing.
Well,
to,
but see, but
he's got nothing to.
but it would come if I didn't do what I was supposed to do. It would come back on me because we have a board and we have
Yeah.
there's people listening and knowing what's said and what's not said, and and there's no way that you could just start creating things. I mean, that's just trust me. The stuff I take down is interesting enough,
Yeah.
so there's no need to make anything up.
It's interesting that you can't tell who's guilty and who's not by now, though. I thought after 30 years you'd be able to just sort of get a
No,
sense
you would
of it.
you
so
would really be surprised. And when people sit back and watch the news and decide like how could the jury come back with a guilty or not guilty, you really have to sit through a trial. It's not. It's there's plenty nuances and I have to say jurors do take it serious.
Right. Have you done
and-
jury duty, you guys?
I got called for it once, and I was kind of hoping I would be able to serve on it. I thought it would be a cool experience, but didn't get.
I've served
Didn't-
on several juries. I've
Yeah, as
been
well
I've
as-
been
wow,
the
that's
foreperson
Yeah.
a couple of times.
Wow. Sean,
yeah.
have you done it?
I have not made it.
You got.
You're going to be
you-
coming up pretty soon. Everybody
you d-
keeps getting nabbed. It's everybody I know at this point is being served, has just served,
really?
is about to serve. Yeah,
Andrew, have you done jury duty, or could
I-
you get out of that because of your?
nobody can really get out of it. Judges
You
serve
can't?
even. No, it's not.
Even if you're a singer-songwriter on the road?
I recently had the week before, well, it was the Thursday before Jazz Fest started. They had, and I went because, just last time I went, we got dismissed at 9:30 a.m. It was fine. And this time we get called into a room, and they're talking about and they say they tell you on the video, most of these things happen in one day, and this will be fine.
Oh no.
And, of course, the judge says something like, this trial is going to take 4 days. And now I'm starting to sweat because
Jazz
I would lose gigs, yeah.
Yeah.
But my loophole was I've been living in mid-city New Orleans, and this was back in Jefferson Parish where my folks' place was, and I hadn't changed my voting
so you got
registration,
called-
so-
You got called to serve in Jefferson Parish.
Correct.
Pure.
So I,
Oh yeah,
I
you
couldn't
could,
do
right.
it.
so
yeah.
I let them know that I
That was a
was
good
living in
out.
mid-city lately, and so that exasperated, I noticed, the defense, because I suppose they were looking forward to having me or something. So
I can't.
Well, I will say this: next to military service, it's you're as a citizen.
Yeah, but
it's something that
How do you? Is there a sure way of getting out of it?
I will say this: we've seen people. We know when someone is trying to get out of it. It's clear, and I'm not saying people struggle with certain issues. I mean, we're dealing with a lot of tough issues, and but it doesn't automatically dismiss somebody.
Well, someone told me they went to jury duty. Who was it, Andrew? Was it you or someone told us they went to jury duty, and someone else in the jury pool showed up in a pirate costume?
nope.
Yes. Wait, you know what's so funny about that?
Yeah.
Okay, so this is crazy that you're saying that. We had a pirate. This was several years ago.
Okay.
That was on our jury.
Oh, he actually got selected.
He got selected, and we didn't know. I mean, and so he said he claimed he was a pirate. And at the end of the trial, he asked me out on a date.
Oh,
Nice.
And of
Okay,
course,
it's a
I declined. But we've
of
had.
course.
We've
Why?
Had,
Are you single?
I
That's an adventure you got to go on.
Yeah,
once,
the
at least.
pirate
no,
juror.
I'm very no. I just that's one thing I've.
What's
I've
your
just,
situation? Are you single? Could you date a pirate juror if he came around?
At the time, maybe I could have, but
Yeah.
I
Chose
you
not
know,
to.
Chose not to.
Huh.
Just.
The
Are you free
swashbuckling
this
life.
Friday?
Yeah.
But I will say this:
Poor guy.
as interesting as New Orleans is, it's a walk of life. I mean, the jury
Yeah.
is just from every walk of life.
Absolutely.
And so, but it's
So
funny to say
anyway,
that we had
okay.
a
Well, the
pirate.
thing. So there's the answer to that question. Wearing a pirate outfit does not get you out of jury duty. It doesn't even get you a date with the court
No, I mean,
reporter,
I don't
so
even
screw
think
that.
it gives you a second look. It's a pirate. Okay. So,
I thought that was a genius way of getting
Nope.
out.
He served on our jury.
It was that
Right.
fucking parody out on his shoulder. The whole
Yeah.
walk the plank, you know, just the whole time.
Throw the book at him.
In fact, if you're doing things that are just clearly looks like you're trying to get out and being difficult,
Right.
there's a possibility you could stay and watch the trial. I mean, it's just if someone's clearly just making a mockery, especially when people or everybody's serving and they have their time. Everybody's time is worth something. But if someone
Right.
clearly,
Just wants to
people
get
know.
out.
Yeah, I
Right.
mean, it's not good. So.
Okay, Andrew, you have to play a song and then we're going to get out of here.
All right.
What are you playing? Something new or old?
I always play something new.
I
dude.
know. It's always new and untested.
So I went over to Anders Osborne place this weekend,
Yeah.
and we had been trying to get together to write a song for a while, and we haven't been in town at the same time. But this weekend we were, so we got together. And Anders is a heady guy and very, very in touch. He's been down a lot of roads, and he's sober these days, as you probably know. And he had a really interesting sentiment about bonding, making new friendships without the crutch of alcohol. Specifically, how do you even call someone to interact when you're not going to meet at a bar, not going to have a beer on the porch or something? And it kind of clued me into that element that when you make the decision to quit drinking, you're not only making that brave decision for yourself, but you're choosing to not let that be the bond between you and someone else. So now you're asking someone else to bond with you without the crutch of alcohol. So that was an interesting thing, and this probably came from that idea, but this is kind of the sentiment he wanted to write, and we went with it. It goes like this. There's a place in the park where I'm still. I go every day for that thrill. Spreading my heart in all directions, when all I need is that one connection. I seek like a lion in fury. I love like the wind on the prairie. I see myself in reflections. All I need is one connection. We're millions of sisters and brothers, drawn to the beauty of each other. We fall in love with imperfections. All we need is one connection. I will let you in, but it's dark some places in here. It might make you turn around. maybe that's my own fear of rejection. All we need is one connection. Tell me, where is the danger in opening up to a stranger? Look past the fear and self-deception. All we need is one connection.
I'd say that was a good day of writing.
Yes.
Thanks.
Wouldn't
Appreciate
you,
it.
guys?
I feel so privileged that you guys are here because y'all haven't been here, so that's great.
That was beautiful.
Yeah.
That was a beautiful song.
Nicely
Thanks.
done, my friend.
Thanks,
What
y'all.
you need is one connection.
Yeah.
Yeah. And who was One Connection?
What is it?
Who was One Connection?
Who was?
Yeah.
I guess that day was Anders and I.
I was thinking, is it Juan, the One Connection?
Oh.
Or is it One Connection?
I'm sure it's the.
That could be a good
I'm sure it's the funnier one. We have to sell records.
One Connection.
Yeah.
All you need is one connection. I love that song, didn't you?
It was beautiful.
Nice song. What do you think, Jonathan?
It's
It's
good.
a professional
It's
songwriter.
solid, man.
Yeah.
Andrew writes good songs.
Yeah.
As
Andrew
does
and
Anders.
I feel
Andrew
like
and
the co-writing thing, which I'm very fresh to, but I'm recognizing
It's weird, man.
It's very clearly a
must be
dating game
tough.
to me, and like the
Yeah.
first one's going to be the first date, and so
Yeah.
frankly, I
Right.
think our best song is ahead of us, and
Right.
and I think that was a lovely insight into how we're going to write together, but I look forward to writing more. So
Yeah. That's very interesting. Thank you so much, Andrew. Good
Thank
to
you,
see
dude.
you
It's great to
back
see
in
you.
town. Thank
Yeah.
God you're back. Jonathan Pretus has been here from the Breton Sound.
Thank you.
The new album is called The Breton
Breton
Sound,
Sound.
and it's available anywhere music can be stolen
Yep.
on the internet.
You can even
Streamed,
buy
or
you can buy
it.
CDs
You can
on
buy
our
a CD.
website. We'll have them at Peaches in the next day or so
That's
as
a
well.
good point. They're at Peaches
And
Records on
Music
Magazine
Factory
Street
and all those spots.
and
yeah.
around town. And if you want to actually buy one, and you can go to
BretonSound.com.
bretonsound.com for more information. Shaun Walker, you can find out more about him at Hero Farm,
TheHeroFarm.com.
theherofarm.com. Very good. And we'll look for you at what's the name of the donut store?
That's Shipley's
Shipley Donuts. Okay.
on Metairie Road.
On Metairie
and
Road.
I think you need to do your nationwide version as well.
Oh, good.
Oh, good
move,
idea,
yeah.
Shaun.
Look, he was
How
like
does
I
it
was
go?
almost off the hook.
I thought you'd never ask. Nationwide is on your side.
Beautiful. Thank you so much. And Wendy Laker, if you'd like to see her, just put on a pirate costume and get yourself on a jury
Oh.
somewhere in
Right.
town.
Come to Art in the
and
Bend.
Creative
Yes.
Spark
Spark Creations.
Oh, fuck.
Spark dash
Spark
Creations.
That's why that sucks as a
.com.
website. You got to come up with something simple. What about Spark.com? Is that available?
Well, no, that was my issue. Was that Spark? Everybody is Spark, so it was hard to. That's
Yeah.
what I had to come up with.
Oh, Shaun will fix that for you. We'll come up with something.
All right.
We've got to be able to come up with something. And it's called Art in the Bend.
Art in the Bend.
Art in the Bend.
Yeah.
That's where we're going to check out.
Yes.
In the River Bend. Thank you so much, very much, everybody, for being here. That's been Happy Hour for another week, which is brought to us today by Door Furniture, Strategic Resumes, Travel Central Elementary, Basic Swim and Gym, Hangover Destroyer, and the Positive Vibrations Foundation, who create and encourage community through the development and preservation of arts, music, culture, and heritage. If you want to be a part of our Patreon family, go to patreon.com and search for It's New Orleans Happy Hour. And you too can be a part of our Happy Hour family for as little as $1 a month. Our producer of our show is Graham DePonte. Our music director is Christian Unruh. Monique Pyle is our associate music director. And Thomas Walsh is our technical director. Today's show is engineered by Joe Schreiner. Asher Griffith is the Facebook live feed director who put this whole thing on Facebook Live. And Andrew Searock is our fact checker and social media connector. Our theme music was written by and is currently being played by Mitch Foreman. If you'd like to be on our show and you can sit around for about an hour while drinking alcohol, drop us a line. Our address is on our website, itsneworleans.com. We can also check out many other hours of Happy Hour that we've recorded previously, as well as other shows we make around here, including Out to Lunch with Peter Raschuti live from Commander's Palace, Louisiana Eats with Poppy Tucker, and our award-winning podcast about death, which is called Death the Podcast. You can also find other great Louisiana podcasts at itsacadiana.com and itsbatonrouge.la. You can keep up with us on Facebook and Twitter and Instagram and a bunch of other time-sucking social media, maybe even SoundCloud. On all of those platforms, we're called It's New Orleans. You can find photos from this show on itsneworleans.com and on our It's New Orleans Facebook page. These photos are taken today by Jill Lafleur. You can find more of Jill's photos at lafleurphoto.com. If you're listening to this on your favorite podcast app, thank you for subscribing to us. Take a moment, if you've got one, to rate and review us. That helps other people find us. Our show is recorded live today at Wayfare on Ferret Street in New Orleans. Happy Hours of production of INO Broadcasting for itsneworleans.com. For Andrew Duhon, welcome back. Everyone else around the table here at Wayfare and back at our office at INO Broadcasting. I'm Grant Morris. Thank you so much for joining us. We'll see you back here next week for more Happy Hour. That'll sound a bit better with music. All right. My goodness, thanks.